With the economy anything but settled, the question is, what changes are retailers making right now in their private label lines? And what changes do they plan for both the near and long-term future to cope with these economic conditions? The answers to these questions may be found in the results of a retailer survey conducted recently by Progressive Grocer Store Brands magazine. Publisher Steve Lichtenstein and editorial director Kathy Canning are here to highlight the results. Welcome, Steve and Kathy, to PLMALive. So what are retailers telling you about the development of store brands right now?
Well, they're telling us a lot, and a lot of it's good. What the respondents told us was that they have picked up the pace of store brand development over the course of the last year. And that's very, very significant because it was an overwhelming majority, something like in the area of 68%, that responded to that question in a positive way. What's very interesting about this is that the reason behind this increased pace, the primary reason for this is that there is an increased consumer acceptance of store brands, as opposed to years past where the primary driver behind store brand growth and development was the economy.
So you're saying that the days of consumers resorting to private label because of price alone are over. Is that right?
That's correct. It's not as profound an issue. Remember, 15% did say it was due to, of the respondents in the survey, said it was due to the economic downturn. But when you have a number like 68%, it all alludes to one thing, and that is that consumers like these products, and this is really where we need to be in this industry.
Do you see store brands expanding in general?
Definitely we do. We saw really strong growth back in what we call the Great Recession. We're not seeing that significant of growth right now, but we are seeing good growth and expect that to continue.
What do retailers think is the reason for this increase?
The number one reason that retailers cited for enhancing their store brand programs was the increased consumer acceptance of store brand products in general. The quality is there, the quality is equal to or better than the national brands. Consumers realize this, so it opens up an opportunity for retailers. That said, some retailers did say that the number one reason for them was to keep up with their competitors. Again, there's more competition on the store brand side now, so they're kind of under pressure to keep up with the store down the street. So another interesting finding from our survey, and one that definitely speaks to retailer expansion, is the fact that we asked retailers what the most critical role their store brand program played, and they said that differentiation was the number one role for their store brands. More than half of them selected that as a response. And I think that's very interesting because 10 years ago, you wouldn't have had that as the number one response. Back then, and even in recent years, more recent years, they were viewed as less costly alternatives, not as differentiators. But you've had some leaders here like Trader Joe's, Target with their Archer Farms brand, coming out and saying we don't have to mimic the national brands, we can come out with something the national brands don't have. And you see a lot of retailers interested in that right now.
What approach are retailers taking to their store brands programs?
That's an interesting question because they're taking multiple approaches here. Half of the respondents in the survey said that they are featuring a two-tiered approach to offering store brands. What's really interesting further, 27% said that they offer a three-tier program of NBE, value, and premium. Now, premium is an interesting part of that because it delivers a separate type of customer with a separate buying values and separate needs. So retailers are making these investments. They're trying to do more and attract more customers, that's for sure. But a very large number of those that responded to the survey said that they are also offering more niche products to the market through this positioning. And niche products being the ones that are functional, good for you, low carb, low fat, and so on. So that's been a very, very important part of the marketplace as what retailers are doing. And finally, what I really wanted to key in on here, and this is very, very important, because of this three-tier approach, the three-tier approach will in fact eliminate, in many cases, a second, third, or fourth brand on the shelf, because there's just enough room out there and retailers may not be expanding in that particular category. So with a three-tiered approach, there are going to be winners and there may be losers.
How do retailers feel their store brands programs compare to 2 years ago?
Well, that's an interesting question. We did get a variety of responses on that one, and we did allow for multiple answers for those that were responding. The most important, probably the number one area, roughly a third of those responding to the survey said that they're doing more with national brand equivalent. That this has certainly become an important elementary part of the store brand's offering, regardless of the category, regardless of the channel in retailing. Roughly a third are doing more with value, the value tier, trying to attract that consumer that is really cost conscious. The whole area of niche products. Niche products are a part of what retailers are doing differently. They're offering more niche products. And premium brands. 18.2% of those surveyed said they're doing more in premium brands, and over the last 2 years. And what's really interesting is that 3 years ago, these products were flying off the shelf. Premium brand was really hot. It is still a very important part of our business, but I think this may point to a softening in that particular market segment based on the economy.
Are there any other trends that the survey pinpointed?
The survey pinpointed quite a few trends that we haven't covered here, and we do plan to cover in our October issue. We're going to cover the survey in a special report. But one interesting thing that I want to point out, and I thought really is an area of opportunity and perhaps a missed opportunity right now. We asked our retailer readers what vehicles they use to market their store brands, and we had a list of 8 or 9 choices ranging from product circulars to shelf talkers and such. And ranking dead last on the list of responses was social media, with only 1.5% of the respondents selecting that as either the most important or second most important vehicle for marketing their store brand products. Again, I think this is a missed opportunity. It's a low-cost method to get the word out about store brands, and seeing that almost every retailer already has some sort of social media presence, whether that be Twitter or Facebook or both. They're already there. Why aren't they using it to promote their store brands?
Thank you, Steve and Kathy. Well, obviously there's much more in the complete survey. Progressive Grocer Store Brands magazine will be carrying the full findings in its October issue. Store brands are going through a transition at many supermarkets, drug chains, and mass merchandisers. They are now the brand leader in many of the categories that Nielsen monitors. How retailers manage their private label programs in this era of store brands' popularity will determine how much further store brands can grow. This is David Merrefield for PLMALive.